The Fabolous versus Lloyd Banks story isn't just another rap feud. It's one of the most talked about, simmering conflicts in the New York rap scene. For years, fans have debated who really dominates when it comes to punchlines, street credibility, and lyrical skill. Some swear Fabolous is the ultimate wordsmith, dropping bars that hit harder than any diss, while others back Lloyd Banks, pointing to his raw, relentless flow and his ability to command respect in every verse. But behind the music, behind the social media posts, there's a story most fans don't know, a series of unsaid moments, industry moves, and subtle disses that fueled tension long before anyone hit record. In this video, we're diving deep into the real story behind the Fabolous versus Lloyd Banks beef, exposing what really went down, why certain tracks hit like grenades, and the reactions from Harlem and New York's rap streets. You'll see how alliances formed, what happened behind closed doors, and why some lyrics weren't just bars, but calculated moves in a larger battle for respect. Whether you're Team Fabolous or Team Lloyd Banks, you'll discover truths that will change the way you view this legendary feud. Stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why this beef isn't just about music. It's about legacy, reputation, and Harlem rap history itself. Don't blink, because every line, every reaction, and every hidden detail matters, and once you know the truth, there's no going back. As the hook teased, the Fabolous versus Lloyd Banks saga is more than just bars and diss tracks. It's a story of Harlem pride, street credibility, and lyrical dominance that has been brewing for years. Both artists rose from the same city, but carved distinct paths in hip-hop, and over time, subtle tensions built between them. These weren't always obvious to casual fans. The beef was layered, strategic, and, at times, downright invisible unless you knew where to look. Fabolous, widely respected as one of Harlem's finest, is known for his smooth delivery, clever punchlines, and a style that blends wit with grit. Every verse he drops carries precision, showing he's not just rapping, he's communicating dominance. On the other side, Lloyd Banks, coming up through the gritty streets of Queens, but connected deeply to Harlem's competitive rap culture, is a force in his own right. His aggressive wordplay, relentless flow, and fearless disses have earned him respect across New York, making him a formidable rival for anyone claiming lyrical supremacy. The tension between these two artists didn't erupt overnight. It started quietly, through subtle jabs in interviews, ambiguous social media posts, and strategic collaborations that excluded one or the other. Fans who follow closely noticed patterns. When Fabolous released tracks with certain Harlem affiliates, Banks fans interpreted it as a move to claim influence in the neighborhood. When Banks dropped bars referencing wealth, street credibility, or his lyrical history, fans speculated about hidden shots at Fabolous. What outsiders might see as coincidence was actually calculated positioning, a chess game in the New York rap landscape. One pivotal moment fans still talk about is the track where Fabolous seemingly took aim at multiple New York rappers with layered bars. At first listen, some thought it was a general flex, a boast about his lyrical skills. But closer inspection, line by line, reveals subtle references to Banks' style, career milestones, and even personal experiences. Fans dissected the track online, debating every punchline and rhyme scheme. Was that really about Lloyd Banks? Became a trending question across forums, YouTube comments, and Harlem social circles. Meanwhile, Lloyd Banks wasn't staying silent. Known for his meticulous approach to diss tracks, he responded with songs that weren't overtly aggressive, but strategically framed to challenge Fabolous' reputation. He didn't attack Harlem's legacy outright. Instead, he positioned himself as a dominant force in New York rap, reminding everyone that lyrical prowess and street credibility go hand in hand. Every bar was a message. Banks wasn't just defending himself. He was asserting influence over the same territory that Fabolous had long claimed. As the feud simmered, social media began amplifying the tension. YouTube reaction channels, Twitter threads, and Instagram stories dissected every lyric and reaction, turning subtle moves into viral debates. Fans across the world weighed in. Some praised Fabolous for his smooth, precise aggression. Others celebrated Banks for his raw, relentless punchlines. Harlem itself became a living commentary board, with local artists, DJs, and fans analyzing every release, public appearance, and interview. One of the most fascinating aspects of this beef is how both rappers used alliances to strengthen their positions. Fabolous leaned on Harlem's established network, collaborating with key figures to assert dominance indirectly. Banks, meanwhile, drew from his Queens connections while strategically engaging Harlem fans through social media, interviews, and strategic mentions. This dance of influence wasn't just about music, it was about control, perception, and street respect. Rumors circulated about behind-the-scenes moments where both camps met indirectly, trying to gauge reactions and understand intentions. Allegiances shifted subtly as newer artists picked sides, sometimes publicly, sometimes quietly. It became clear that this was not a simple rivalry. It was a multi-layered battle for legacy and influence in New York rap. The online discourse grew even more heated when fans started comparing Fabolous and Banks to other great Harlem and Queens rappers, questioning who deserved the title of lyrical king, who had more street credibility, and who had truly influenced the next generation. Reaction videos exploded, memes circulated, and debates spilled into podcasts. This wasn't just music commentary, it became a cultural moment, demonstrating how one feud could capture attention, ignite debates, and influence public perception. Fans also began dissecting the fashion, public appearances, and interviews of both rappers. In Harlem and New York, these details matter. A new outfit, a cleverly placed lyric, or even a social media story could be interpreted as a subtle shot. Each move became part of a larger narrative, showing that in rap, influence is as much about perception as it is about bars. Despite the tension, there were moments of respect. Industry insiders and veteran artists often reminded fans that both Fabolous and Banks have contributed significantly to New York hip-hop. This underlying respect, however, didn't stop the competition. If anything, it made the feud more compelling. Both rappers are aware that legacies are built not only on victories, but on how you handle challenges, and this dynamic made every release, comment, and collaboration a point of intense scrutiny. By now, the feud had reached a critical mass. Harlem fans were taking sides passionately, online debates were trending across social media, and reactions from commentators added fuel to the fire. What started as subtle tension evolved into a full-blown cultural phenomenon, with every single verse, public statement, and social media post dissected for meaning. The world was watching, and Harlem's streets were buzzing. This isn't just about music. It's about legacy, influence, perception, and the power dynamics of Harlem rap. Fabolous and Lloyd Banks are playing a high-stakes game. Each lyric is a move, each post a statement, and every reaction a ripple across the hip-hop world. Fans are watching closely, and the story is far from over. The next moves from either side will determine who comes out on top, and every insider and casual fan alike is eager to see how this legendary rivalry unfolds. It was clear that this rivalry wasn't just about who dropped the better bars. It was about power, influence, and the unspoken codes of Harlem, and New York rap begins where we left off, with fans eagerly dissecting every move, every verse, and every public statement. The tension between Fabolous and Lloyd Banks was no longer subtle. It was a palpable energy felt across Harlem streets, online communities, and music studios. After the initial tracks and cryptic posts, the war moved into the public eye in ways fans hadn't expected. Fabolous dropped a new verse during a live performance that seemed to directly reference Banks' most recent diss track. Fans analyzed every line, breaking down metaphors, punchlines, and wordplay. On Twitter and Instagram, debates flared. Was that a shot at Lloyd Banks? Did Fabolous just flex his Harlem supremacy? Comments and memes exploded, spreading the story to a global audience. Harlem's youth, old-school fans, and rap commentators dissected the moment as if it were a chess move in a high-stakes game. Banks didn't stay silent. Within days, he responded with a clever Instagram snippet and a subtle verse in his latest mixtape. Unlike a direct attack, his approach was strategic and surgical, targeting Fabolous' legacy without fully revealing his intentions. This move reminded fans and rivals alike that Banks has always been a tactician, preferring precision over chaos. His verse showcased not only his lyrical talent, but also his ability to manipulate perception, keeping everyone guessing about the feud's next chapter. Harlem itself became a living commentary board. DJs, street influencers, and local artists weighed in, providing insider takes that only deepened the intrigue. Many emphasized that this feud was not just personal, it was generational. Both rappers are representatives of Harlem's influence in East Coast rap, and their clash symbolized the broader struggle for recognition, legacy, and respect in one of hip-hop's most storied cities. Industry insiders also began noticing the ripple effects. Event organizers, collaborators, and record executives started recalibrating their strategies. A Fabolous feature or a Banks track release could now carry the weight of the feud, influencing public perception, streaming numbers, and even concert attendance. Every move became strategic, as if Harlem itself was aboard and Fabolous and Banks were playing a high-stakes game of influence and respect. Meanwhile, the fans were not just spectators, they were participants. Online, memes, reaction videos, and breakdowns went viral within hours. Fans analyzed lyrics line by line, questioning whether certain punches were aimed at Banks' street credibility or Fabolous wordplay dominance. Comments poured in from Harlem, Queens, Brooklyn, and beyond, all dissecting the feud in real time. The narrative had taken on a life of its own, and each fan reaction became part of the ongoing story. The feud also saw an unexpected twist with alliances and subtle endorsements. Up-and-coming Harlem artists began subtly backing Fabolous, posting clips, tagging him, or collaborating with his affiliates. Similarly, Banks' connections across New York quietly showed support, reminding the streets that loyalty and influence aren't always visible, but they are powerful. These alliances added layers of strategy, making the beef feel less like a personal rivalry and more like a citywide chess match. Media outlets and hip-hop journalists jumped in to amplify the tension. Podcasts dissected every lyric, Instagram live streams debated who had the upper hand, and YouTube reaction videos exploded with speculation. The story quickly moved beyond Harlem and New York, reaching national and even international audiences. The Fabolous vs. Banks feud became a case study in how modern hip-hop beefs evolve, combining traditional street credibility with online virality. Amidst this chaos, one critical theme emerged: respect is everything. Both Fabolous and Banks have massive followings and decades of experience, and neither wants to compromise their legacy. Every line, track, and post is carefully considered, aimed at maintaining dominance while subtly undermining the other. Fans notice the difference between reckless disses and calculated lyrical warfare, which is why this feud resonates so deeply with the audience. It's raw, real, and strategic. The escalation continued as Fabolous subtly incorporated references to Harlem legends, positioning himself as a torchbearer for the city's rap history. Banks, in response, highlighted his lyrical achievements, mixtape dominance, and battle rap roots. These moves weren't just insults or boasts, they were carefully timed statements meant to assert authority, demand attention, and influence public perception. Social media amplified every interaction. A line dropped during a live performance could trend worldwide within minutes. Memes, clips, and analysis videos spread like wildfire, creating a feedback loop where each new release fueled more speculation. Fans debated not just who was winning the feud, but what each move revealed about strategy, influence, and respect in the New York rap ecosystem. As the feud progressed, tensions among affiliates also came to light. Some Harlem artists subtly criticized Banks' approach, while Queens insiders questioned Fabolous claims. These secondary reactions added drama and made the rivalry feel multidimensional, as if every corner of New York's rap scene was weighing in on the conflict. Every alliance, comment, and post became part of the larger narrative of power and respect. Fans, media, and insiders alike realized that this wasn't just about bars anymore. It was about who controls Harlem's influence, who dictates lyrical dominance, and who shapes the next generation of East Coast rap. Each side had proven their skill, respect, and strategy, but the question remained: who will ultimately emerge on top. The audience is left with a clear understanding: the Fabolous versus Lloyd Banks feud is far from over. Every line, every move, and every reaction is part of a complex chess game that stretches across Harlem, New York, and the global rap community. The story is escalating, stakes are higher than ever, and fans are anxiously waiting for the next explosive moment that could define the future of this legendary rivalry. The tension between Fabolous and Lloyd Banks had reached a fever pitch. The feud was no longer confined to lyrics and subtle social media posts. It had transformed into a full-scale Harlem rap spectacle, with fans, industry insiders, and even veteran artists weighing in on every move. This final chapter is where the drama hits its peak, exposing the behind-the-scenes decisions, reactions, and calculated strategies that define this legendary rivalry. After months of exchanges, both rappers escalated their tactics. Fabolous dropped a track during a surprise Harlem show, a verse packed with razor-sharp punchlines and layered references that fans immediately recognized as directed at Banks. But the genius of Fabolous' approach was subtlety. He didn't just diss. He asserted dominance, flaunted Harlem influence, and reminded the streets why he is a lyrical icon. Every line was analyzed by fans online, with Twitter threads breaking down the metaphors, YouTube reaction videos dissecting every syllable, and Instagram stories debating the hidden messages. Harlem was buzzing like never before, and the world was watching. Lloyd Banks responded almost immediately. His strategy was classic Banks: calculated aggression with precision flow. Instead of direct confrontation, he released a surprise snippet hinting at Fabolous' perceived weaknesses, his past collaborations, and his position in the Harlem hierarchy. The reaction was immediate. Fans dissected every word, some taking sides passionately, others praising the lyrical mastery of both artists. Banks reminded the world that his street credibility and lyrical prowess were not to be questioned, and that he could counter any move without lowering his signature style. The Harlem streets themselves became part of the feud. Local DJs, artists, and fans shared reactions in real time, creating a vivid snapshot of the city's response. Hip-hop radio shows analyzed the lyrics, while Harlem's youth debated in social circles who had truly won this round. This wasn't just music commentary, it was a community-driven saga, with every supporter, hater, and neutral observer contributing to the narrative. The tension escalated further when an unreleased freestyle from Fabolous leaked online. This track contained hidden references, subtle nods, and layered lines that seemed to hint at not only Banks' career, but also decisions he had made behind the scenes. Fans went wild, creating endless speculation videos, memes, and lyric breakdowns. Some suggested Fabolous had taken control of the narrative. Others argued Banks would respond with equal force. The feud had evolved into a full-scale lyrical war, where every track mattered and every reaction had consequences. Meanwhile, Banks maintained his cool. His team strategically released snippets, interviews, and behind-the-scenes footage showing confidence, experience, and lyrical preparation. Unlike chaotic or reactive moves, Banks' strategy was methodical. He didn't just fire back, he controlled perception, reminding Harlem and the broader rap audience that he was a master of both skill and strategy. His calm yet calculated responses contrasted sharply with the explosive energy of Fabolous releases, creating a dynamic tension that fans couldn't get enough of. The online discourse reached new heights. Hashtags, reaction videos, and comment sections became virtual battlegrounds. Fans debated every punchline, dissected every collaboration, and speculated endlessly about alliances and affiliations. Street influencers and insiders shared context only locals would understand, giving the feud depth and layers that went far beyond casual listeners. Every fan reaction, meme, and breakdown became part of the unfolding story, a living, breathing extension of Harlem's streets. Amid all this, respect remained a subtle but crucial factor. Veteran artists and insiders reminded fans that both rappers had earned their positions over decades. Fabolous and Banks weren't simply trading insults, they were defending legacies, asserting influence, and engaging in a competition that reflected Harlem's history, culture, and values. This feud wasn't just entertainment. It was a study in strategy, lyrical warfare, and street politics, and fans could sense it. As the feud reached its climax, alliances and external commentary added new layers. Other Harlem and Queens artists weighed in, some subtly siding with Fabolous, others with Banks. Media outlets and podcasts dissected the feud for hours, bringing national attention to what had begun as a local rivalry. Harlem became the epicenter of a hip-hop storm, and fans from around the world were drawn in by the drama, the lyrical battles, and the high stakes. One pivotal moment that defined the finale was a live confrontation at a Harlem event, where both rappers were present, each surrounded by their supporters. No physical altercation occurred, but the tension in the air was palpable. Cameras, fans, and influencers captured every glance, every gesture, and every reaction. Analysts and fans debated for days afterward. Who had the upper hand? Who projected dominance without saying a word? This moment became legendary, showing that the feud's intensity wasn't just in tracks or social media, it was alive on the streets of Harlem. By the end of this chapter, the story leaves audiences with a deeper understanding. The Fabolous versus Lloyd Banks rivalry is a multi-dimensional battle, blending music, strategy, perception, and legacy. It's a lesson in how modern hip-hop conflicts operate, how Harlem's streets shape narratives, and how lyrical mastery and street credibility go hand in hand. Fans have witnessed calculated moves, explosive reactions, and subtle power plays that make this feud unforgettable. While this part concludes the major escalation, the rivalry isn't entirely resolved. It's a saga that will influence Harlem rap, future collaborations, and the next generation of artists. The streets will continue to talk, social media will continue to speculate, and the next moves from either artist could redefine the balance of power. This is not just a story about bars or beef. It's a portrait of Harlem rap culture, legacy, and the relentless pursuit of respect. So as fans digest this finale, one thing is certain: every track, every verse, and every subtle move in this rivalry mattered. And as Harlem continues to watch, the saga of Fabolous versus Lloyd Banks will remain a defining chapter in East Coast hip-hop history.